So we're in the first week of February 2023. Slightly below the freezing mark. So the salt and stuff in the road still works for melting ice and keeping it a bit open. Just having a little drive around Charlottetown again. Not much snow down at all. Just a dusting, as it's called, a dusting of snow. The dusting is on top of some older snow, so that kind of looks like we had some. I'm out here on Capitol Drive turning onto it. Not quite sure what to do for a video. I'll just, I guess I'll drive down the avenue. Seems to be a good one. There's light traffic being around 10 a.m. in the morning. Just enough snow to need the wipers on and off a bit. We're turning this is University Avenue, but I'm not sure if it starts at this set of lights up here or that intersection behind us. Probably the one behind us. So we've got a Starbucks drive-through coffee shop and Wendy's and Tim Hortons. It's really bad pulling out where that truck is right there if you're ever turning left. I don't even know why that option is available. Charlottetown's kind of funny because like I lived in Toronto and there's a lot of stuff here that's more annoying to drive out of than Toronto, which is, you wouldn't think so. We got the university all on the left over there on the other side of the road. Brown's Court on the right. The snow is sticking to some signs like that one on the right there. Not sure what it says. I see the word city and the word Ide. I think it's Ide or ice. I don't know. So I was just getting a coffee. Yeah, the morning before, usually like around 11 a.m. and earlier. Like Charlottetown, like at 9 a.m. is just even like now, it's just so easy to drive around. I'm not really sure why there's so much more traffic in the afternoon. I could see during the commute or like the end of day work time being more traffic. And that's still the university buildings on the left there. It's quite a large complex of buildings now. On the right, there's a building you can't really see. It used to be the original Caterpillar dealer for Charlottetown, at least. It's been closed for quite a while and for sale. No one's bought it. They wanted, obviously top dollar, and then once the values went up here in the last few years, they probably increased that price too. story in the paper right from here down. They're going to change, or planning on changing University Avenue, which I had mentioned before that I consider this like the most likely place you'll get into a car crash on Prince Edward Island, in my opinion. Considering 2 days ago when I drove down here, someone let a car pull out from the right on the inner lane, and they can't see the lane I'm in, which is the second lane. And they pulled out and didn't even look to the left, and I had to, not panic, right, just slow down, and then the shocked look in their face when I'm on the horn. And here's a Tim Hortons vehicle. It doesn't look like it's quite in the yard. Yeah, see this white vehicle? That's the lineup for Tim Hortons around the back. Because they used to line up in the street, but they stopped the street lineup. So people just, it's hard to believe, but fight for space at the Tim Hortons drive-thru. Tim Hortons is extremely popular here. I was going to say, that car must not be from here. Where that plate's from? Ah, he's going to go before I can see it. That's an interesting looking plate. Now we're still on University Avenue. On the right is Kirkwood, and on the left is Allen Street. Well, that was the fastest light I think I've ever seen here. That's what I'd mentioned before about their sensors. So it must not have detected cars on the opposing streets and let this one switch. Got the Dairy Queen. This might turn into a big storm, actually. Someone was not in town and said it's storming quite a bit. And it's perfectly fine looking in here, you know. That's it's kind of the selling point for being around the city over being in the countryside in the winter. Various side streets here, and they just go over to Queen Street, all these little streets on the right here. And there's a laundromat I mentioned sometimes because they're kind of rare. For anyone not familiar with the winter, this truck ahead of me here, this is likely a private company. That device on the back here spreads salt around. You can see it on the sitting kind of, it looks like a little mountain range on the bottom there. And then this would be the downtown, the core. We're driving along so nicely. It's so much better in the morning. Then we crossed Kent Street there. That's a well-known street. Quite a bit of nightlife on that street for probably at least half a century, I guess, or maybe it was always that way. And they redid this Province House up here, but I don't know, I was having a closer look, and there's it looks like they repaired some of the stone, it was newer stone, and then they don't match, or it kind of almost didn't even look like the same stone. I guess I have to get closer to it. It was probably interesting whoever worked on that building doing the stonework. For the people. There might have only been one person, to be honest. I can't imagine too many skilled people working on that type of stone. Oh yeah, and we turned off Grafton, and now we're on Prince Street. And then with the snow, you can see how the lines on the highway get obscured, and the lines for parking, all the lines, all the markers. Food Mall Market. I thought it was always called Founders Hall. I don't know if they changed the name of that or what. That brick building used to be the train station a long time ago. Yeah, people might not be familiar. Trains used to come here, and they used to have trains used to get on the boat where there was tracks on the deck, the lower deck, or the lower deck of the ferries, where they would move train cars onto the boat, on and off it. Let's take a look down here. Yeah, so there used to be train cars in the ferry boats, then they would end up going around the island. That's what the current walking trails are that people see. Just down at one of the marinas. It used to be kind of the only marina out of the New Yacht Club, but now there's a few. It's kind of a nice place to walk down here, actually. There's a boardwalk. That's a nice winter walk, actually, for people. I don't do it, but I'm saying it would be. I've walked around there a few times, but not on really funny reason. Then we're looking at the other side of the province that's way up there. Great George Street is split into like an upper and lower street. So if anybody started delivering here, that might be confusing. The intention would be to turn left here. Yeah, even in the morning, there's no traffic at that four-way stop, which there's kind of always cars there. We got the Delta Hotel on the left there, some government buildings on the right. Yeah, I guess I'll end the video down here in this traffic roundabout circle. Right there is looking at the mouth of the harbor where the ships come in, or if you have a pleasure boat, where you'd be going. Can't quite see it because it's all snowy. Stratford across the harbor there. More Stratford. So yeah, I guess I'll just leave it there and finish my coffee.